Live in Western Oregon, this is NBC 16 News at 11.
Your child cannot return to school unless he or she is vaccinated. That's the message from the Seattle, Washington School District to parents. Good evening and thanks for joining us for NBC 16 News at 11. Filling in, I am Alexis Thrower. This comes as more states take similar action to remove what's known as the personal and philosophical option to exempt kids from the MMR vaccine. Susan Vaughn from our sister station Como TV in Seattle takes a closer look at what may be a change in the national debate about vaccinations.
It's going to be okay. It's going to be painless.
8-year-old Amy Votse and her brother Danny are getting vaccinated at one of 3 free clinics hosted by Seattle Public Schools. Nearly 2,300 students in the district got letters saying they would be kept out of school January 8th if they don't meet their vaccination requirements. After a big measles outbreak in Washington state this year, with more than 70 cases, more school districts are telling parents if their children don't get the MMR vaccine to protect against measles, mumps, and rubella, they can't come to school.
I'm concerned about my kids' well-being, so whatever is needed, I will get it.
According to the Center for Disease Control, between January 1st and December 5th, 2019, 1,276 individual cases of measles have been confirmed in 31 states. The CDC says the majority of cases were people who were not vaccinated against measles. The states that reported outbreaks were California, Georgia, Illinois, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Texas, and Washington. A new law in Washington state went into effect in July. It says personal and philosophical exemptions are no longer allowed as a reason to opt out of getting the MMR vaccine. Now, only religious and medical exemptions are allowed. Nationwide, 5 states have said no to personal and philosophical exemptions for any kind of vaccine: Iowa, Delaware, New Jersey, West Virginia, and North Carolina. Not everyone agrees that vaccinating is the way to go. Candace Bergman chose not to vaccinate her 4-year-old daughter, Patty. She doesn't believe it's the best choice for her children.
For me, this big debate isn't whether one should be vaccinated or not. To me, it comes down to the right to choose.
We asked Washington Representative Dr. Kim Schreier about the need for more people to get vaccinated.
When epidemics start, they often start with children. Children are cramped together in a classroom. They're not great at controlling their own germs, and so when we can protect kids, we protect the whole community.
She's among the lawmakers pushing for tougher vaccine legislation to try and prevent future outbreaks.
We all really need to look after each other, and there's no reason to not vaccinate. They're safe and effective.
In Seattle, I'm Suzanne Fawn reporting.
It affects everyone, whether it's age, gender, or socioeconomic status. We all feel stress. In today's Health Minute, Jeremy Roth helps you identify the symptoms and how to deal with them.
Stress is your body's reaction to a trigger or experience, but you don't have to let it ruin your day or your life. The National Institute of Mental Health has 5 things you should know about stress. It affects everyone. There are different types, and they can all affect your physical and mental health. Stress can come from something routine like school or work, perhaps a sudden negative change. It can also present itself as traumatic stress from a horrific event. In some cases, stress can trigger our fight or flight instincts. In other instances, it can motivate you when completing an important task. Chronic stress can be debilitating. When your body is in a constant state of stress, sometimes it can be challenging to reach normal levels. Eventually, chronic stress can contribute to problems like heart disease, high blood pressure, and mental health disorders. Be observant of your body's response. Talk to a healthcare provider. Get regular exercise. Partake in a relaxing activity. Write down your goals and priorities. Stay connected to others. You don't have to tough it out. Stress, especially prolonged stress, can lead to serious mental health conditions, suicidal thoughts, or substance abuse. Find a professional who can guide you through and help relieve some of the symptoms. For today's Health Minute, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Many start the new year with new fitness goals. The Coos Bay Library is offering a way to see what kind of workouts work best for you. There are 4 sample classes at the library. Downtown Health and Fitness, Northwest Martial Arts, and Mossy Lotus are the 3 gyms you can try out.
It kind of lets people know what's around too, because I didn't know about Northwest Martial Arts until I went to a self-defense ladies class, and I was like, I didn't know this existed. So it's nice that they're all coming together.
The first session is a Zumba class on Monday evening from 6 till 7. On to a first look at weather. NBC 16 meteorologist Travis Knutson joins us now.
We had some rain last night and early this morning, but as we progress throughout our Wednesday, the first day of 2020, things dried out a little bit, and generally speaking, Thursday into our Friday, mostly dry conditions will be with us. However, Friday night into early Saturday morning, rainfall returns. As far as our temperatures are concerned, mild conditions expected across our area. Here's a look at that satellite and radar loop for the last few hours. Still seeing some moisture out there, but in general, things are wrapping up. Lows tonight cooling down to the lower 40s. Highs for our Thursday, low 50s on the way, and while the region's drying out, we do have more heavy rain on the way. I'll tell you exactly when it gets here and how long it'll stick around across all of the Pacific Northwest. That's coming up in my full forecast still ahead.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Travis. Now, a violent start to the new year with the sounds of gunfire in West Eugene today. The call came in as shots fired at 7th and Seneca around 9:20 this morning. Police say 2 vehicles were involved in some sort of dispute. They say one vehicle was shooting at the other, ending near West 11th and Bailey Hill. Police believe the white Dodge Caliber was shooting at another car. 3 people were in that Dodge and have been accounted for or are in custody. Eugene police say there are no known injuries. Police are still looking for the other vehicle involved in the shooting, unsure if the occupants were shooting back.
It was last seen eastbound on 7th Place, and we're not sure exactly where that vehicle went. We have no information on number of occupants, but we are working on video from area businesses and trying to piece that together.
Police still need your help to locate that vehicle. They say it's a silver or teal Honda, most likely an old Civic or Accord with black wheels. Please contact Eugene Police with any information. We expect to learn more in the next few days about a deadly shooting in Gresham. We first brought this story as breaking news last night, and it happened near Northeast 188th and Irving Court. Police say it wasn't random and didn't appear to be gang-related. 2 people were shot in a car. 1 died. The other is expected to survive. Police haven't released any information about a suspect. Despite many warnings to not do it, there were still impaired drivers on the road last night. The Eugene Police Department says they made 4 DUI arrests between 9 last night and 6 this morning. Springfield Police say they made 3 DUI arrests in that same time frame. Rose Bowl champions once again. After a back-and-forth game, the Oregon Ducks defeated Wisconsin 28-27. While the game itself was in Pasadena, many folks here were watching with anticipation from their homes or local sports bars. NBC 16's Periele Durrani watched the game with fans at the Cooler in Eugene.
On New Year's Day, the Cooler in Eugene was full of Ducks fans watching the Rose Bowl, whether they were fans by birth.
I was born and raised here, so I just became a Duck fan then.
By choice.
Duck. He crossed over to the Duck side. To the Duck side. Came over to the Duck side.
Or by association. Even the bartender, who doesn't really see herself as a football fan, had something to look forward to.
We have a bell that we ring every time there's a touchdown, and that's the most fun part. You get to go ring the bell really loud.
And soon, the bells will be ringing for this couple. They're spending the day before their wedding here, cheering the Ducks at the same bar where they met.
I was sitting here with a friend of mine, and we were kind of drinking a little bit, and I looked at her, and I was like, okay, well, you know. So I asked her if she wanted to have a shot with me and him, and she said she would.
Thought he was kind of loud.
Did you think that it would end here at the bar a day before your
No, I didn't know, but I'm happy it did.
They exchanged numbers, went on dates, and more than a year later, they're returning engaged.
Yeah, exactly.
Their love story interrupted by the bell signaling the Ducks win. So whether folks in the bar came for the game,
just happy that they won.
Woo! The bells, or to celebrate a new chapter in life.
Not a better person I want to spend my New Year with than her.
Yeah. Go Ducks.
Go Ducks.
Everyone seemed to leave optimistic about the new year. Reporting in Eugene, I'm Periele Durrani.
Well, congratulations to the lovely couple. And coming up next on NBC 16 News at 11, commercial crabbing season is in full swing and the weather has already presented unfavorable conditions. Plus, Tom Adams has the latest details on the 2020 Riverfront Development Project in Eugene. And if you see breaking news, be sure to give us a call at 541-393-KMTR. That's 5687. Or send an email to newsdesk@kmtr.com.
Tomorrow on NBC 16 Today.
It's officially
16 News at 11.
The commercial crabbing season just opened, and already weather has been an issue. With strong storms hitting the south coast last night, crabbers have had to cut their trips short. Long Fisheries is hoping to bring in 3 million pounds of crab this season. So far, they estimate they have about 40,000 pounds.
Which isn't real good, but it's doable. It's a start. The guys, like I say, had really bad weather. They didn't get to run too awful much gear and stuff. If they'd have been able to run all their gear, we'd have probably doubled that in volume.
The weather was so bad, buoys were taken down by the strong currents, but that wasn't the only problem.
The crabs like to bury up when the weather gets really bad and not feed too good, So as soon as the weather comes down a little bit and stuff, they'll come out and they'll be hungry, and hopefully it will do good.
Boats are expected to be out again tonight and tomorrow. More storms are forecast in the next couple of days. 2020 brings a renewed vision to a big project in Eugene. That vision to reconnect the downtown area to the Willamette River is set to take next steps. NBC 16's Tom Adams reports on the riverfront redevelopment project.
This field of dirt doesn't look much like a new neighborhood, but officials say give it time. The changes will be big at the Eugene Riverfront Development Project.
This past year, all of the buildings on the site, except for the steam plant, were demolished, making way for the community's vision for the downtown riverfront.
It's a multi-million-dollar vision to put 16 acres of neglected industrial land right next door to eWeb to a new use.
That's going to feature hundreds of new housing units, including affordable housing units. A lot of retail and office space, both on the site and in the redeveloped steam plant.
City business analyst Amanda D'Souza says 2020 will bring infrastructure to the site, some new streets, plus 24,000 new native plants go into the ground for what will be Riverside Park.
We'll have all these new connections to the U of O.
Will buildings start to rise? No, not yet.
It is possible that there will be some buildings start to be constructed later this year, but we're still waiting on a lot of market and economics to work out.
Redevelopment of the old eWeb steam plant is being handled by a different development team on a separate timeline. It's not known when actual work might get underway. D'Souza adds, though, the old plant could see some use by the summer of 2021. That's when the World Track Championships will come to town at Hayward Field.
Kind of repair some of the outside of the building and use it as a backdrop. And we have some really interesting ideas about how to use it as an art installment during the Fan Festival.
The city expects the Fan Festival will be set up at the riverfront site while the track competition is going on at Hayward. By this time next year, the $14 million urban park will largely be completed. Reporting in downtown Eugene, I'm Tom Adams.
Developers say overhauling the 1931 steam plant will cost around $26 million. The city selected a team led by DeChase Mixis Development Company and Archimoto Chief Executive Mark Frohnmeyer to redevelop the steam plant. Oregon legislatures are hoping to kick 2020 off with a new green law. Plastic bags are out and reusable bags are in. The ban was already passed in Eugene, but now the change will be enforced statewide. This means shoppers will have to bring reusable bags with them or pay a small fee. If you forget yours today, you're in luck. Some stores like Fred Meyer are offering free ones, but don't get too comfortable. If you don't start bringing bags, you will have to buy them for 5 cents a piece.
I definitely think it helps. I don't think it hurts for certain. And I think at first people maybe be a little annoyed that they have to remember to put their bags in their car and bring them into the grocery store. But it just like anything else becomes another habit that you learn to.
Customers will now have to get into the habit for the foreseeable future. Tune in tomorrow to see how local businesses are adjusting to the new rule. Uber and Postmates are suing California over its law designed to protect gig workers. The companies say California statute AB 5 violates both the U.S. and California state constitutions. The federal lawsuit calls the measure vague and incoherent. AB 5 is sweeping law, forbids the use of contract workers in many instances. It requires companies like Uber and Postmates to treat workers as employees and provide benefits like paid sick days, salaries, minimum wage, and health insurance. The new law is set to take effect today. Turning to weather now, NBC 16 meteorologist Travis Knudsen standing by for a look at what's coming up in your full forecast. Hey, Travis.
Rain across the area today, but we had some sun breaks, which actually translated into a couple rainbows being seen around the area. Captured it in the time lapse here, which I'll show it to you coming up next.
New year, new looks. Right now at Right There with Chief Meteorologist Travis Knudsen.
Well, we started off the day a bit on the wet side for the first day of 2020, but we did see some sunshine in the afternoon hours, and that translated into seeing a couple rainbows. If you look way out in the distance here on the hills right before I play this, and then again higher up in the screen, you'll pick out a couple rainbows that were seen around our area today, all due to the rain that we had mixed in with some of the blue sky that peeked through now and then. Tomorrow, our Thursday, we'll see a couple raindrops around the area, but for the most part, things are pretty dry, and we'll see a few additional sun breaks, more so than what we saw today. But satellite and red alert for the evening hours, still supporting the occasional hit or miss shower out there, but this isn't significant rain that's falling from the sky. Relatively quiet, relatively dry. That's how the next couple of days will pan out, and it's all because of this high pressure center here off the California coast, bringing in some drier air. But there is another storm system out across the Pacific Ocean. This is our next rainmaker, still a few days out, but it is headed our way. Ahead of it, though, some drier air moving in with this high pressure center. This is our Thursday as well as our Friday. But then late Friday, after about like 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the evening, this cold front associated with this storm system out here to the west, that moves on through, and with it is more rain that we'll have to contend with to wrap up the work week and head into the weekend. But showers pushing on through early Sunday or Saturday morning and will be with us through a good chunk of the weekend. But here's a short-term forecast overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. Any lingering raindrops out there come to an end, still supporting a little bit of some moisture up in the Cascades called orographic lift. Basically, as air is rising over the mountains, that upward motion creates just enough energy to see some light snow flurries, maybe the occasional raindrop up there. But for lower elevations, Thursday's pretty dry. Then as we get into 5 o'clock on Thursday, relatively quiet, especially down for those areas to the south. By Friday morning, this is at 8 o'clock, not seeing a lot in the way of rain around our area, but look out off to the west. Showers will quickly roll on in by the end of our day Thursday, and this will be some widespread moisture we see as we wrap up Friday and head into the weekend. Now, as far as our temperatures go, cooling down to around 40 degrees for our nighttime lows. Tomorrow, highs will be right around 50 degrees, which is pretty mild for this time of year, a degree or two warmer than where we generally should be this time of year, but still very comfortable. A look at the extended forecast here for the Eugene-Springfield area. That cold front that arrives late Friday into Saturday will cool us off a few degrees, bring some rain to the area, showers persisting into Sunday. Right now, looks like Monday will manage to work out to be a dry day before more rainfall by the middle of next week. For the coast, around 40 degrees for our nighttime temperatures tomorrow, facing some low 50s on the way, 53 in Bandon, North Bend, Coos Bay area, seeing a high of 52. Here's a 7-day forecast. Moving forward, things are relatively dry. There could be a couple of raindrops on Thursday, but we'll miss out on any showers on Friday. Then Friday night into Saturday morning, rain rolls back in. Sunday, we'll see the occasional raindrop, dry for Monday, more rain by the middle of next week. Across Douglas County, temperatures tonight holding out in the 40s for the most part. 50s on the way tomorrow. Winds pretty light from the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour under mostly cloudy skies. Friday should be a dry one for Roseburg. The rain returns just in time for the first weekend of 2020. Sunday, we'll see some raindrops before we start the first Monday of 2020. On the dry side, rain returns, though, next week in the middle of that week.
Thank you so much, Travis. And of course, you can now track the weather conditions through your neighborhood anytime by downloading our NBC 16 app. Also, be sure to check out our website and Facebook for interactive radars and the latest information. Coming up next on NBC 16 News at 11, Maria Santora brings us the latest sports details and more specifically, a recap from Pasadena following the big Rose Bowl game.
Showing off those new frames, huh?
Yeah, they're the hot new
NBC 16 Sports Desk is brought to you by Three Rivers Casino Resort.
Boom! Get some of that! Let's go Dutch! What's up, Oregon?
And And that is the best way to sum up the emotion and excitement. Oregon is smelling the roses in Pasadena following a win in LA that could not have been scripted any better. It started out with the senior Oregon native Justin Herbert, first and goal. Herbie turns on the Jets, stiff arms his way into the end zone for the 4-yard quarterback keeper. Ducks up 7-0. But in his final game as a Duck, one was simply not good enough. Rushes in 5 yards for Herbert's second touchdown on the day. Oregon regains the lead 14-10, but Wisconsin consistently badgering back, and with 17 seconds left in the half, Wisconsin just crosses the goal line. Quintez Cephas snags it for the 11-yard touchdown. Badgers head to half up 17-14. Third quarter, another Oregon native making his mark. The Wisconsin punt blocked by Brady Breeze, and he is gone like the wind. Returned 31 yards for the touchdown. The Ducks back up 21-17, and then late in the fourth, with Oregon trailing by 6, Herbert puts the team on his back, carries them to a victory with his third rushing touchdown. Ducks 1-point victory over the Badgers, 28-27. Hayden Rivera spoke with the team moments after the clock hit 0 and has their reactions from Pasadena.
Even with the addition of a 4-team playoff, no setting can capture the spirit and heart of college football quite like the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day, and that couldn't have been more evident for the Ducks. Oregon kicking off 2020 with a come-from-behind win over Wisconsin to become Rose Bowl champs.
Man, this is a dream come true. I can't even hold back the tears that's about to come out. I'm blessed to have all the seniors that helped me. It's just so amazing to be able to let them go out that way.
To all the people that have believed in us, the fans. I mean, I was a little kid sitting in that section up there, and now I'm here, playing in the Rose Bowl.
Man, I can't explain this feeling. I'm so happy, so elated right now. I'm so happy for these seniors that we were able to send them out the right way. I just can't put it into words.
Fairy tale, man. This is crazy. Just thinking back to the day that we all decided we were going to come back another year, and I couldn't think of doing anything else, and I think this really is the best ending possible that we could have had, and I just love my guys, man. And I can't believe that tomorrow I won't be with the Oregon football program anymore and hanging out with my guys, meet with Coach Crispo and all these guys. Yeah. It's bittersweet, man.
It's the end of an era with Justin Herbert and Troy Dye finishing their Oregon careers at the Rose Bowl. But as we've heard all week long from the players and coaches leading up to this game, the future is shining very bright for the Ducks. Reporting from the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, I'm Hayden Herrera.
Thank you, Hayden. That's it for sports. Back to you.
Coming up next on NBC 16 News at 11, Baby Yoda has been a major talker since the release of the latest Star Wars film, and he's gained even more traction out of Oklahoma.
When looking for a TV and internet provider, we know
strong in an Oklahoma community, and it's all thanks to Baby Yoda. Artist Brent Greenwood painted this mural in downtown Ada. Greenwood says he created it using only spray paint, and it took him about 2 hours last Saturday. He did it to promote the arts for young people. And thank you for watching. Have a great night. I love that.
Your calling was always to make a difference and positively impact the future.